Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here, live for wearechange.org. And this one is not making the headway in the mainstream media that I thought it would. Now, there's a lot of things going on with social media, with Google, with YouTube, with the President of the United States, and of course with Facebook on this social media and search censorship issue. However, I'm shocked. This story came out maybe even 2 days ago, and I just want to read some. This is out of The Independent, okay? The first paragraph, first sentence in the first paragraph should alarm some people. Facebook is due to start hiding posts from people who spam users' news with clickbait, okay, sensationalized and misinformed articles. Oh, they're sensationalized. So again, now here it is. If you have a viewpoint, it doesn't matter if your information's true. It's sensationalized. And there's so much misinformation going on. We can't have articles with misinformation. Well then, CNN, the Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, they shouldn't be allowed on your platform. Neither should Fox News. Misinformation. Excuse me? Like weapons of mass destruction. Like the Trump campaign wasn't being spied on prior to the election. Oh wait, that did happen. There was never any retractions. Everybody in the mainstream media reported it. But no, we can't do that. But guys like me, we're going to get censored. I want to read some more of this because it is so alarming. In a statement, the social media giant said it was making the update to reduce low-quality links in the user's newsfeed. Now, it just so happens, guys, that I did a video last week on the main YouTube channel, okay, and it was about the trust score. That's right, the trust score. You know, Facebook now has a 0-1 trust score. You can't access it. It has everything to do with what you post, who your friends are, how much time you spend, what kind of comments you make. You know, that algorithm. The trust score, the secret trust score for individuals. And that got shared on social media. Now, I looked at my analytics today on the main page. About 4% of the videos that are watched on YouTube are watched from other sites. Let me let that sink in. That means it's basically useless to post a video that I make on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, because it gets zero traction. But they went a step further. Okay, they actually labeled it as spam and had to manually review it. Now, within 24 hours, they reviewed it and they said it was A-okay. But why is my content coming up as spam? I'm not spamming anybody. I post to our page, which I struggled, by the way, this week to make sure that I was clearly authorized on so that I could broadcast this to Facebook as I simulcast on YouTube, Twitter/Periscope. That's what's going on right now. Okay? So let's continue reading this just a little bit more. As a result of the research, Facebook said it would deprioritize posts from being shared from those accounts. The new policy will only apply to links for individual articles, and domain pages, videos, photos, check-ins, or status updates will not be affected. Come on. Give me a break. You're telling me that the videos and the photos and the pages aren't going to be affected? Does anybody believe that? Does anybody trust YouTube, Google, Facebook, Twitter at all anymore? Have they gained our trust? Absolutely not. They are contiguous liars, okay? And today, they launched the Facebook Watch platform for everybody, for all users, okay? Now, I've been trying to get on Facebook Watch for the better part of 6 months now with We Are Change. There was no application. There was no form. I'm thinking to myself, why is CRTV part of this? You know, they're supposed to be counterculture. They're so edgy. But I'm not a conservative. I don't buy into the right-left paradigm. I'm going to expose Trump when he does bad things. But not for what the mainstream tries to expose Trump for. I don't care that he's on his third wife, sleeping with high-level prostitutes, and paying them off with his own money. Not the same thing. That's not a scandal to me. It's not a scandal to me that Paul Manafort got brought down on 8 of 18 charges regarding tax claims from over 10 years ago. Doesn't bother me. Nothing to do with Russians. I'm not talking about Fantasyland, Russiaville. So apparently, I wasn't selected for Facebook Watch. Now today, I was able to put in an application. I applied. I was very honest with what we do, very short, and they're going to let me know if any of the partnerships are opening up. But the fact is that now they're trying to launch their quote-unquote YouTube alternative. That's what Facebook Watch is. And a guy like me has to jump through hoops to get a channel. We have almost 600,000 likes and followers on the We Are Change page. I post mainly mainstream articles out of the Associated Press, out of the London Guardian, out of Reuters, okay? Every once in a while you get a Daily Mail article in there because they're a great news aggregate. And, you know, Zero Hedge gets some time on there. Oh, they're evil. They're bad. Oh, I'm going to admit on that page too. Come on, give me a break. This is ridiculous. So, you know, Facebook, if you truly want to be a part of the digital conversation, try to come back from all the censorship over the last month plus, all these ridiculous things that you're doing, well, let a guy like me on Facebook watch. But I don't see that happening because you've got things like this going on right here, okay? We have a problem with political diversity. Facebook engineer reveals how colleagues attack, often in mobs, anyone who opposes the left-leaning ideology. They rip down Trump posters and silence criticism of Islam. Now let's talk about this for a moment. First of all, they are framing this argument of right, left, conservative, liberal. When guys like me, We Are Change as an organization, have been demonized for over a decade. It's a long time coming, okay? It's not new. And they're framing it up so they get to decide who gets to have speech. You know, this is a conservative issue. Well, it's big time in the media with Google responding to Trump. Now, first of all, Trump's not wrong when he says these things, okay? If you Google Trump, the amount of negative press and info is astounding. There's not, you don't find any kind of positive news on Trump, nothing about him trying to bring peace to North Korea anywhere in a Google search anymore. Now, a lot of that, to me, has to do with the vast majority of the mainstream media attacking every single thing he does. We've never had a presidency where Time magazine was jockeying month to month to see how far they could take an anti-presidential poster. I don't even know if they had some, like, anti-Bush covers, okay? I don't remember many. There might have been one or two, but we're talking every week now. We're faking Trump with a little girl who was wait, she wasn't separated at the border. We have to apologize for that. And, of course, Google denied that there's any kind of bias. Nothing wrong here. We didn't do nothing. Yeah, okay. Okay. Sure, we should trust you with your NSA contracts and seed money and the fact that you and your other social media partners out there don't pay any taxes. I should totally trust you, Google. Give me a break. And with all this social media censorship, you know, going back to the Facebook Watch issue, this one's out of the Guardian. War reporters like me will cease to exist if the web giants aren't stopped. And what's he talking about? Well, he's talking about the fact that independent media no longer has a voice on the biggest platforms in the world. That they are shadow banned. That they don't want to hear the perspectives that are actually coming from the ground in Syria, in Yemen, in Afghanistan, in Iraq. No, they want the corporate-controlled Johnny nonsense that is meant to keep you in this left-right paradigm. Promoting wars, promoting the establishment, promoting the ideas of the intelligence community. Give me a break, man. This is insanity. And Sammy Katz, you know, on-the-ground journalist, and he's talking about Facebook, Google, the European Union, because this isn't just a big tech issue. See, this is real fascism. This is the government and corporations getting together and deciding what information the people get to see. Fascism. Corporate-controlled government, government-controlled corporations. You can argue who has more power And I would say that's probably more on an individual basis on who's running things, not kind of like this archetypal, NSA or CIA or Homeland Security. They're the ones that control it. No, it doesn't work like that. But do they all get together and collude with one another? You bet they do. You bet they do. They got together this weekend talking about how they were going to stop foreign interference in the elections. Openly talking about controlling the elections themselves. Because that's what Twitter should be doing. That's what Jack Dorsey needs to do. That's what Mark Zuckerberg is here for. To tell me what I can and cannot see and hear. It's disgusting. And by the way, let's look at a trial date that has been set. Did a big video on the main page, has under 10,000 views. I believe it's still demonetized. It's on Jeffrey Epstein. You'd think that this would be on the radar of, I don't know, the alternative media. Nobody in the alternative media other than We Are Change is going to tell you the story. Nobody. Nobody's talking about it. Why is nobody talking about this? The date has been set for a trial of over a decade. Okay, a decade. This lawsuit has been going back and forth. And this civil case is December 4th. Now, I believe September 21st, there is going to be another meeting of the prosecution and the defense lawyers trying to come to some mediation agreement. Believe me, I don't think it's happening after 10 years. Caveats to this: this is not a criminal trial. Okay, no matter what comes out here, he's not going to be held criminally responsible. This is going to explore the sweetheart deal, Acosta, who's now in the Trump administration. Epstein, he's not going to show up. He's not even going to be there. So it's going to be a lot of transcripts, okay? And, just so everybody knows, is this it right here? Yeah, that's right. The lead detective died at the end of May at 50 of a brief illness. You can't make this stuff up, but Officer Ricari, Joseph Ricari, not alive anymore. The lead investigator in the Epstein scandal. This guy, not here. So you're not going to be able to hear from him either. Now, why isn't the alternative media covering this anymore? Okay? I go into great detail in the main video, but I want to point this out. Oh, I got to get that right out of there. There is another lawsuit with Towers International going on right now from the investors of that, making a claim against Epstein for $473 million in a Ponzi scheme. Now, the man that was convicted of this Ponzi scheme is a man named Stephen Hoffenberg, right here. Okay, Hoffenberg. He went to jail. Let me repeat this. He went to jail for 18 years on this Ponzi scheme in a 20-year sentence. He paid $200 million in restitution. His right-hand man was Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? Now, he was the Bernie Madoff of his day. Prior to Madoff, it was the biggest Ponzi scheme scandal ever. Before that, I believe it was the BCCI scandal. Okay, this is big time. He gets out of jail and somehow has $50 million for the largest super PAC for Trump. So, Hoffenberger-Epstein relationship, Trump-Epstein relationship, nobody wants to talk about, even though it was cut off at some point. But Hoffenberg, biggest super PAC out there. Plenty of connections. But look, Steve Bannon meeting with Jeffrey Epstein a couple weeks ago. Not a right or left issue, guys. I keep trying to tell you this. You look at Conspiracy of Silence. You look at the Franklin scandal. You look at Dennis Hassert. This isn't a left-right. This isn't Democrat pedophiles, folks. There's a lot of people involved in this. And Steve Bannon, who is still a Trump ally, who helped get Trump elected, obviously, through Breitbart, who had a position in his cabinet meeting with Jeffrey Epstein just before the midterms, which he said the Republicans need to win. So do you think that Bannon wasn't talking to this guy about politics? What do you think Bannon was talking to this guy about? They played Epstein as a card. That's why Trump brought him up. That's why Donnie Deutsch brought him up. That's why Hannity let him allude to that as he was running for president. If you believe in imaginary indictments and white hats that are going to save you, I got some really disturbing news for you. That's not reality. That's imagination land. We have to hold these people's feet to the fire every single time. Now, on one last note, one little last story, I'm going to be doing a big video about this later on the main page, but I thought I would bring it up because it's just so amazing that this had to go to a federal court. But the First Amendment protects you sharing food with homeless people. There are cities out there that have actually organized against groups feeding the homeless, and now a federal court has ruled that this is a First Amendment issue. It's amazing to me that in order for me to give a gift to somebody, to give charity, to give aid and comfort to another human being, this had to go to federal court. And we're going to be making a lot of points about this on the main channel. With that good news, I want to tell you guys about a little bit more good news. If you didn't notice, we've been monetized. We can take your super chats now. Viewership is up. Subscribers are up. Please share this stuff. We need more subscribers. We need more voice. This is a backup channel that allows us to interact with the audience, do long-form interviews, and hopefully hold on to our alternative media operation if, God forbid, something happens to the main channel. I'm looking at one of these points. D'Artagnan Allen, who is the alternative news? I thought that was you guys. It is us. And there are many other voices in the alternative media out there that I think are doing a great job. Dan Dick's Truth Stream. They're two of my favorites. You know, Press for Truth does amazing work. Lee is working over there. I always say, hey, you want to take as much information as possible, whether it be from the mainstream or the alternative or both, and have discernment. Don't believe Jason Burmis. I just put up every single piece of information I talked about. You're more than welcome to look at these headlines and look up the info for yourself. Think for yourself. Make your own decisions. And folks, thanks for joining me, because I need you to be the change you want to see in the world.